The day is gently fading now, like a soft curtain being drawn across the sky. Even before the door closes behind you, a sense of quiet begins to gather around your shoulders, like a warm shawl being placed with care. You step inside, and the air itself feels calmer here. The world outside is already drifting away, left on the other side of the door with the cold and the noise, with the hurry and the weight of the day. Here, the light is soft and low. Nothing bright or busy, just a gentle glow that seems to breathe with the room, steady and slow. Shadows rest in the corners, peaceful and still. In front of you, the wood-fired stove waits, like an old friend who has been expecting you. Behind its glass window, a quiet fire burns, steady and calm. Flames move slowly over the logs, curling and folding into themselves, whispering in tiny shifts and cracks. You feel the warmth even from where you stand. It reaches out in a soft wave, not too hot, not sharp, just a gentle welcome that moves through the room and touches your skin. The air is warmer here, heavier in a pleasant way, like a blanket laid over a cool bed. You leave the day behind with each breath you take, in and out, in and out. With every slow breath, the outer world grows softer and more distant, as if it were slipping further down a quiet road. Shoes are set aside, or maybe they stay on. It does not really matter. Nothing has to be done in any particular way now. There is no right way to be here, only what feels easy, what feels kind. The floor is solid beneath your feet, holding you without effort. Above, the ceiling shelters you, calm and sure. The walls keep the night outside, letting only the peace of it filter in. You move a little closer to the stove, as if drawn by its steady glow. The glass window shines with a soft orange light, never harsh, always soothing. You can see the logs slowly giving themselves to the warmth, turning to embers, each one a tiny, glowing heartbeat. The faint crackle of the fire is calm and quiet. No rush, no roar, just small, patient sounds, like a soft conversation spoken in another room. Every small pop, every gentle sigh of the fire reminds you that nothing needs to be hurried. Here, time moves differently. Minutes don't push or pull. They drift, like dust motes in a sunbeam, unhurried, almost still. There is nothing you have to catch up to, and nothing you are missing. A chair waits near the stove, or perhaps a soft couch, or a familiar cushion on the floor. Whatever is here is ready for you, shaped by long use, by quiet evenings, by many nights of simply resting. It welcomes your weight as you settle down, your body beginning to loosen in small, gentle waves. As you sit or lie down, you feel the way your body meets the surface beneath you, the way it supports you without asking anything in return, the way it carries all of you, the tired parts, the tense parts, the soft and open parts. You may notice how your shoulders feel right now, how they begin to sink just a little, as if they have been carefully holding the day up for hours and can finally put it down. The air around you is warm and forgiving, making it easier to soften, to loosen, to let go. Your hands can rest wherever they land, in your lap, by your sides, folded into each other. They do not need to hold anything now. For this quiet stretch of time, they are simply allowed to be. The glow from the stove touches the room in gentle strokes of light. It lays across the floor, climbs slowly up the walls, and brushes against your skin. It is a tender, living light, never still, always slowly shifting as the flames rise and fall behind the glass. Every so often, the logs in the stove settle with a soft, muffled sound. A small shift, a quiet sigh. The fire adjusts itself, finding a new, comfortable shape, just as you are finding yours. You might notice the way the warmth gathers more strongly on the side of your body nearest the stove, and then gently spreads out. It seeps through fabric and into muscles, easing them, coaxing them to soften, to unwind. Tight places begin to feel less tight. Busy thoughts begin to feel less urgent. Breath moves in and out of you with its own natural rhythm. You do not have to change it or manage it. Simply noticing it is enough. The way the air comes in cooler and leaves you a little warmer, carrying away the remains of the day. With each easy breath, the room becomes more familiar, like a space you have known for a very long time. A safe, quiet place that waits patiently whenever you need it. The stove keeps watch, its little fire like a guardian of rest. Outside, the world can do whatever it wants. Cars may pass, winds may move, clouds may cross the sky. All of it can continue without you for a while. You are here in this warm and steady pocket of evening, and that is enough. Inside, everything is simple, just the soft light, the slow warmth, the gentle sounds of the fire, and the steady rhythm of your own breathing. Thoughts might still move through your mind. Plans, memories, small worries. They are allowed to be here too, but they do not need to be followed. They can drift through, like leaves floating past on a quiet stream, noticed and then left to go. Every part of this room seems to invite ease. The settled furniture, the familiar shapes resting in the glow, the way the air holds a faint scent of wood and warmth, like many evenings gathered into one. You are safe here, safe to rest, safe to release the effort of the day piece by piece, as if gently setting down small stones from your pockets. Nothing asks anything of you now, no decisions. No answers, no tasks waiting in the corner of your attention. Here, in this small circle of warmth, you do not have to prepare for what comes next. You do not have to think ahead or look back. Each moment is just softly arriving, like a slow tide, and you are floating on its surface. The stove hums with its gentle, steady heat. Fire inside, glass in between. You outside, calm and untouched by any harshness. You are close enough to feel its comfort, far enough to simply rest in its presence. If your eyes grow heavy, they can close. If they stay partly open, they may rest on the glowing shapes behind the glass, the slow dance of colour and light. Either way, there is nothing you have to hold on to. The room holds you. Let the warmth of the stove be a quiet promise, a promise that, for now, you are allowed to do nothing, allowed to simply be a body in a safe place, breathing softly, wrapped in gentle heat and low light. Even as the fire slowly settles, as logs turn to a deeper bed of embers, its warmth remains steady and kind. A low, glowing heart at the center of the room. A calm, steady presence that does not waver. You are here, beside it, wrapped in this hush of evening. The day has loosened its grip. The night has come not as a demand, but as an invitation to rest. In this quiet space, with the soft glow at your side and the gentle warmth touching your skin, you can simply drift, breath by breath, moment by moment, slipping deeper into ease as the room grows quieter and the fire burns on in a slow, peaceful calm. Outside, the night feels cool and a little thin, like the air has been stretched by a long day. Clothes hold a trace of that chill, a faint edge of weather and street and sky. The world out there is dim and quiet, but it still hums with the last echoes of effort and thought. In front of you, a simple wooden door waits, solid and still, with a gentle promise of something softer on the other side. Your hand finds the handle, smooth from years of use, with just a touch of cold metal against the skin. For a moment, you pause there, feeling the difference between outside and in, between what has been and what is about to arrive. Then the latch gives with a soft click, and the door eases inward. A faint, familiar creak slips into the air, low and comforting, like an old friend clearing their throat in greeting. At once, a wave of warmth brushes across your face and hands. It is not hot or harsh, just gently full, like stepping into a slow, quiet embrace. The air here is thicker, softer, touched by the steady breath of a wood fire. Coolness melts away from your fingertips, from your cheeks, from the tip of your nose. You step inside, and the door settles behind you with an easy thud, sealing off the night. The outside sounds fall away, leaving only a soft hush resting over the room. Light lies low and warm around you, as if the space is lit from within by something calm and unhurried. In this first instant, the room feels almost like it is exhaling, happy you have come back. Warmth gathers around your legs, your shoulders, your neck. It moves slowly, soaking into fabric, into skin, into tired muscles that have been quietly holding tension all day. Across the room, the wood-fired stove glows with a steady, patient heart. It does not demand attention. It simply offers warmth, the way a steady friend offers their presence. The faint scent of wood smoke curls through the air, soft and nostalgic. It carries the memory of crackling logs, of sparks that flew hours ago, long before you arrived. Underneath the smoke, there is another scent, deeper and more homely. A hint of worn leather maybe, the smooth, lived-in smell of an old armchair, mixed with the clean, dry scent of wool warming in the heat. Each breath in feels slower now, drawn through this blend of warmth and comfort. As the chest rises, there is a gentle awareness of the day still clinging there. As the chest falls, that weight begins to loosen, just a little, as if each exhale is laying something down by the door. Nothing dramatic, nothing forced, only an easy, natural letting go. Behind you, the cool night lingers on your coat, on your shoes, on the thin edge of your collar. You feel the difference between that faint chill and the gentle spreading heat of the room. Fingers move toward buttons, zippers, small familiar motions that mark the quiet crossing from outside life to inside rest. With every small movement, the warmth seems to come closer, ready to take what you set down. Slowly, you slip free of the coat that has held the whole day in its folds. You can almost feel the weight of tasks and roles sliding off with it, as if they were tucked into its pockets. The coat hangs on a hook near the door, a simple, silent line between then and now. You stand there, just for a moment, lighter in your shoulders, softer in your stance. Warm air moves gently over your arms, your back, now that the layers are thinner. It feels like a soft blanket being draped around you without needing to be lifted. Your neck loosens, as if the warmth has found its way into the small places that held effort without complaint. A quiet sense of being sheltered begins to gather around you, steady and sure. The room is simple, but every corner seems to know its purpose. Shadows pool softly under chairs and tables, not dark, just calm and still. The walls hold the warmth like a memory, radiating it back into the air in slow, quiet waves. Nothing asks anything of you here. Nothing hurries you along. Your steps move further into the space, slow and unhurried on the floor. Each footfall is gentle, cushioned by the softness of the room's warmth. You notice how the air near the stove is a little fuller, as if the heat gathers there and then drifts outward in patient circles. Moving closer, you feel it deepen around your legs, your hands, the front of your body. The stove itself is calm and contained. Its metal sides hold the fire in a steady, glowing cradle. Somewhere inside, wood shifts and settles with the quietest sigh, the softest tick. It feels less like an object and more like a presence, a quiet, glowing heart at the center of the room. You stand near it for a moment, letting its warmth wash over you. The contrast is gentle now. No sharp change, only a smooth blending of inside and outside, of cool and warm. The last traces of night air fade from your clothes, from your hair, from your hands. Every part of you begins to belong more fully to this soft, sheltered space. Around the stove, the light is rich and low, touching the nearby chair, the small table, the curve of a woven blanket. The scent of wool warmed by the fire drifts up, faint and soothing, like a memory of winter evenings long ago. Leather softens under the heat, its scent rounding out, deep and earthy, quietly reassuring. Together, these simple smells weave an atmosphere that feels safe, lived in and kind. You picture the day as if it were a layer of dust settling, then slowly blowing away in this warm air. Hours and conversations, errands and thoughts, all of them gently losing their sharp edges here. Nothing is pushed away. It just falls quiet, as if the room itself has invited everything to rest. In this softness, your mind begins to mirror the space around you. The warmth from the stove no longer feels like something separate. It has seeped into your chest, into your belly, into your hands, until it feels like a warmth that belongs to you as well. Your shoulders lower by a breath or two, dropping from their familiar automatic lift. The muscles along your back begin to unknot, as though they have finally been told that they can stop. The hush of the room holds you not tightly, but with a kind of gentle steadiness. You are not required to speak or decide or plan. Here, being is enough, and even that happens slowly, quietly, like clouds moving over a still lake. The stove continues its soft work, keeping the air around you warm and kind. Every detail of the space seems to lean toward rest. The way the shadows settle into corners, the way the light falls in a soft circle near the stove, the way the air moves almost imperceptibly, carrying the faintest trace of wood smoke past your skin. Time feels slower here, stretched in a way that is kind and forgiving. Minutes lose their sharp edges and drift into one another, smooth and unbroken. You are no longer standing at the doorway between two worlds. You are inside, fully, held by this quiet room. The night outside still exists, but it is far away now, filtered through wood, warmth, and calm. Your breathing has found the room's rhythm without effort. In and out, easy and quiet, like a tide that has finally reached a peaceful shore. Nothing needs to happen next. For now, it is enough to be here, wrapped in gentle heat, in soft air, in the steady glow of the stove's quiet heart. Warmth settles around you, and warmth settles within you. The room has opened its arms and then closed them softly, not to hold you tight, but to let you rest. Thoughts move more slowly, like leaves floating in a still pool. The hush deepens, and the gentle comfort of this place continues to unfold softly, quietly into the waiting silence. The room feels quieter now. The day has slipped even farther away, and what remains is this soft, tender stillness. In front of you, the stove has settled into its gentle nighttime glow. The busy flames from earlier have calmed, drawing inward, sinking down. Through the glass, the heart of the fire glows in deep shades of orange and red, a slow, steady radiance that feels almost alive. It does not rush. It simply glows and glows and glows. If you look closely, you can see how the embers move in their own unhurried rhythm. They pulse ever so softly, brightening for a moment, then easing back again, like a long, slow heartbeat. Light, then softer light. Warmth, then even deeper warmth. Every so often, a faint breath of air stirs inside the stove. The embers respond in a quiet shimmer, as if turning their faces toward that passing touch. A log shifts just a little, settling into a more comfortable place. A delicate ripple runs through the coals, and a brighter glow spreads for a moment across their surface. From time to time, a small flame appears. It curls itself gently around the edge of a log, tracing its shape with soft, golden fingers. The flame does not leap or roar. It wanders, it explores, and then it sinks back into the bed of embers, leaving behind a deeper, richer red. The light that comes from the stove is kind and low. It spills out onto the floor in a quiet pool, not too bright, not too dim, just enough to soften the room. On the nearby walls, that light moves in slow patterns, always shifting, never hurried. Shadows stretch long and thin, then melt into softer shapes as the embers rise and fall. You notice how the walls seem to breathe with the fire. A corner brightens as a coal flares up, then gently fades as it settles again. The lines of the room blur just a little, wrapped in this warm, flickering hush. Nothing is sharp. Everything is softened by this steady orange glow. On the floor, the pattern of light and shadow feels like a gentle tide. It creeps out a little farther when the embers shine more brightly, then draws back again as they dim. Again and again, the same slow motion, like waves rolling onto a quiet shore. You do not need to follow every change. You can simply rest in the knowing that the glow continues on its own. Each ember has its own shade, its own tiny story of heat. Some shine with a deep, almost crimson red, like the last color of a sunset. Others are pale orange at their edges, fading into a soft, velvety black. Where 2 or 3 coals touch, the light gathers, growing warmer and more intense, as if they are sharing their warmth with one another. If you let your gaze soften, the separate shapes begin to blend together. The sharp outlines of logs and coals become a single, glowing bed of warmth. The surface seems to breathe, to brighten and dim in long, sleepy sighs. Time loosens here, becomes slower, thicker, more gentle. Around the stove, the air is warmer, and that warmth spreads outward in calm, steady waves. You can almost feel the heat resting against your skin, not pushing, not demanding, just quietly, generously there. It wraps itself around you, around your shoulders, your arms, your hands, like a soft blanket that needs no adjusting. You do not have to do anything to receive it. The warmth is simply given. Now and then, a faint sound comes from within the stove. A tiny crackle, a small, delicate pop as a fragment of wood gives up the last of its energy. Each sound is gentle and brief, like a whisper that rises and then disappears into the calm. As you rest here, attention keeps drifting back to the slow glow. The world outside this room feels far away, as though it belongs to another time. Here, there is only the quiet stove, the warm air, the steady rhythm of light. Nothing asks anything of you. Nothing needs to be done. Thoughts, if they appear, move more slowly in this light. They feel less sharp, less urgent, like figures walking through a soft fog. They come, they pass through, and they fade again, just as a brief flame curls up and then lies back down into the coals. You do not have to follow them. You can let them drift the way the shadows drift along the floor. Notice how the eyes begin to feel heavier in this gentle glow. The lids grow soft and relaxed, as if they too are being warmed by the embers. Blinking becomes slower, more languid. It would be easy now to simply let them close, to rest them, even for a few moments, while the mind floats in the warmth. Even with eyes closed, the presence of the stove is still there. You can sense the glow without seeing it, like a quiet warmth just beyond the edge of awareness. The subtle sounds, the faint feeling of heat, the deep, steady calm in the room, all of it continues. The fire keeps its silent watch, whether you look at it or not. If the eyes open again, they meet the same slow dance of embers. Nothing has rushed. The coals are still breathing with light, still pulsing in that long, peaceful rhythm. The same gentle flicker of orange along the logs. The same soft painting of shadows on the walls. Shadows near the stove are short and dark, gathered close to their source. Farther out, they lengthen and grow pale, like thoughts stretching out and then dissolving at the edges. A chair leg, a table, a basket beside the hearth, all of them wear changing coats of light. For a few moments, one side glows, then the ember shifts, and another side eases into brightness. Everything in the room seems to agree to slow down. The furniture, the floor, the ceiling above, all resting in this same unhurried rhythm. The stove glows. The light moves. The warmth spreads. Your body responds by loosening, by softening, by settling down in place. Breath joins this simple pattern. In, as the embers quietly brighten. Out, as they gently dim. You do not have to match them on purpose. It happens naturally, almost without noticing, as your rhythm and the rhythm of the fire move closer together. With each exhale, something inside you seems to drop a little deeper, like a coal slipping further into the safe bed of embers. Muscles release what they were holding. The space behind the forehead softens. The jaw becomes easy and loose. The shoulders grow heavy, supported, at rest. Thoughts become fewer now. They resemble faint sparks rising from the coals, glowing briefly, then disappearing into the larger darkness above. The mind does not chase them. They are allowed to appear and fade, without comment, without effort. The glow in the stove has its own quiet wisdom. It knows how to use up the last of the wood. It knows how to cool slowly, how to shift from fire to ember, from ember to ash, all in its own time. Watching it, or simply feeling its presence, reminds the body how to do the same. How to let energy ease. How to sink into rest. Here, in this warm, dim space, nothing is sharp, nothing is loud. The edges of the day blur, like shadows at the edge of the room. The soft orange light holds you the way the coals hold their heat, gently, quietly, without strain. The embers continue their slow, calm pulsing like a lullaby made of light. They brighten, they soften, they brighten again. And with each cycle, you feel yourself drifting just a little deeper into ease, into stillness, into the simple comfort of being here, in this moment, beside this gentle glow. In the hush that follows, the stove keeps glowing, the room keeps resting, and you, wrapped in warmth and soft light, can allow everything inside to grow quiet, to grow soft, to grow beautifully, peacefully, wonderfully still. The room is quiet now, soft and dim. The day has slipped away, and only the gentle comfort of evening remains. In the center of this quiet, the wood stove glows with a steady warmth. Its presence is calm and sure, like an old friend sitting close by. The light is low, and the sounds are soft, easy to lean into. Nothing asks for attention. Everything simply is. From inside the stove comes the faint crackle of burning wood, a soft, dry, whispering sound, like paper being folded very slowly. It rises and falls in a gentle, unhurried rhythm. Each tiny crackle is its own little spark of sound, here and gone, leaving only warmth behind. The logs have settled into their place. They no longer roar with fresh flames. Instead, they glow from within, deep and orange, with thin threads of flame that lick and curl and sink back down. The sound matches that quiet glow, small and close, as if the fire is speaking in a low, sleepy voice. A tiny pop sounds from the heart of the wood, then another, softer this time, sap, waking for an instant and then letting go. The sound is so small, but in the stillness it feels clear and gentle, like the soft tap of a fingertip on a table. Each pop arrives, stands alone, and then fades into the hush. Between the little pops and crackles, there is so much space. The silence around them feels padded and warm. It wraps itself around every sound, softening the edges. Nothing is sharp here. Everything is rounded, easy, and safe. If you listen closely, beneath the crackles there is another sound. A low, quiet pull of air drawing steadily through the stove. It moves like a slow, even breath, in and out, in and out. A steady, hidden sigh that never hurries and never stops. This quiet breathing of the fire begins to fill the room with its own gentle rhythm, like the tide moving in a very small, very peaceful bay. The air is warm, and the sound is warm, and together they invite the body to loosen and rest. Shoulders drop a little lower. The jaw softens. The brow smooths. Each time the stove draws in air, the faint glow inside seems to deepen. Each time it releases that air, the crackle shifts and rearranges, a tiny shuffling of embers. The two sounds blend together, breath and spark, into one easy pattern. It feels natural to lean into it, to let the mind follow along without trying to do anything at all. The heart begins to notice this slow pattern, that quiet pull of air, that gentle fall of crackle and pop, the steady warmth soaking into the room. Soon the heart's own beat seems to soften in response, as if nodding along to the quiet rhythm of the fire. A log gives a longer, deeper crackle as it settles further down into the embers. The sound curls through the room like a soft rustle of fabric. Then it fades, leaving only the faint hiss of tiny sparks shifting and sinking. After it, the silence feels even deeper, more welcoming, more still. The mind doesn't have to follow every sound. It can drift in and out just as the crackles do. Awareness touches one pop, then lets it go. Touches the quiet hush, then floats away again. Nothing is important. Nothing needs to be held onto. From time to time, a sharper little snap arrives, bright and quick. It appears suddenly, like a tiny star flaring and going dark. Then, as soon as it's noticed, it's gone again. No trace left, except an even greater feeling of calm in the space it leaves behind. The soft pull of air through the stove continues, unbothered. Slow, even, dependable, like the most relaxed breathing. It has no edges, only smooth, rounded sound. Listening to it, the body naturally finds its own slower pace. The breath in the chest begins to match it, without any effort. In and out, in and out. A gentle rise, a gentle fall. Breath and fire moving together in quiet agreement. Each exhale feels a little longer, a little looser. Each inhale arrives softly, without strain. As the breath slows, the sounds of the room seem to sink closer, like a blanket being tucked in around everything. The stove becomes the soft heart of the space, the quiet center. Around it, the room feels more enclosed, more sheltered, as if the warm air itself is holding the walls steady and kind. Outside this circle of warmth and sound, the world has faded far away. Whatever happened today is already dissolving into the distance. Thoughts that were once bright and busy now move like slow shapes in a mist, losing their sharpness, losing their weight. The only clear things that remain are the warmth, the low glow, and the soft music of burning wood. The steady breathing of the stove goes on. The crackles are gentler now, quieter, like someone turning over in their sleep, and then settling again. Each little sound is a sign that everything is working just as it should. Nothing is wrong. Nothing is missing. All is simple and calm. As attention drifts over the body, it may feel as if the warmth from the stove is reaching farther. out across the floor, up into the air, wrapping around every limb, every muscle, every quiet corner inside. The sounds of the fire seem to move with that warmth, holding everything in a slow, peaceful rhythm. The heart, too, finds this rhythm, beating a touch more softly now, not needing to rush, perfectly content to keep time with the faint, steady hush of air passing through the stove. The two seem to lean toward one another, sharing the same gentle tempo. Another small pop of sap breaks the surface of the silence. Then another faint crackle as a sliver of wood gives way. These sounds feel friendly, familiar, like the soft murmur of voices in another room. Not loud enough to disturb, only enough to remind that warmth is being made, that comfort is being kept alive and close. Time seems to slow down around the fire. Moments stretch out, smooth and unbroken, like a calm stream at dusk. Each breath feels like a whole little world of rest. Each pause between the fire's sounds could go on forever, full of softness and ease. The stove's gentle breath continues, always the same, drawing in, releasing, drawing in, releasing. In its presence, the room feels smaller in a comforting way, like being under a favorite blanket or inside a safe, quiet nest. Protected from the outside, wrapped in warmth on the inside. Thoughts float by more slowly now. They appear at the edge of awareness and then wander off again, drawn toward the soft depths of the crackling sounds. Nothing hooks, nothing holds. The mind is free to sink, to drift, to rest in the spaces between one quiet sound and the next. The fire burns on with soft devotion, asking for nothing, offering only warmth and its gentle song. The rounded pops, the delicate crackles, the steady breath of drawn air all come together into one seamless, calming lullaby. Here, in this hush, it is easy to let go, to feel the body grow heavier, the mind quieter, the whole being rocked by the slow rhythm of the glowing stove. And as the night deepens, the sounds grow softer still, crackle melting into quiet, breath melting into breath, warmth holding everything in a tender, easy embrace, until all that remains is the soft sense of being here, safe and warm, in the gentle company of the fire's fading song. The room is quiet now, and the soft glow from the stove wraps everything in a gentle warmth. Shadows rest calmly along the walls, and the air feels slow and easy, as if the whole evening is exhaling. Somewhere nearby, a favorite place is waiting. Maybe it is a deep armchair with cushions that remember your shape. Maybe it is a soft spot near the stove, a padded bench, or a small couch that has held you many times before. You know, without needing to think about it, which place is calling to you. As you move toward it, you might notice a faint, familiar sound. The quiet creak of the floor, the soft whisper of fabric as you shift. Each small sound is gentle, ordinary, comforting, part of this calm little world by the fire. You arrive at the chair, or the soft place you've chosen, and just pause for a moment. Standing or hovering above it, you can sense the promise it holds. A safe place to land, a place to set everything down. Now you begin to lower yourself, slowly, carefully, feeling how the seat rises to meet you. The first touch is light, almost cautious, as if your body is still deciding how it wants to settle. Then a little more weight sinks down, and the cushions give way in a quiet, welcoming sigh. You feel the fabric under your legs and along your back. Maybe it is smooth, or maybe a little textured and worn in places where you have sat many times before. There is something kind about that worn softness, like a familiar hand resting on your shoulder. It tells you that you have been here and you are welcome here again. Your body shifts a little, making tiny adjustments without effort. A small movement of the hips, a gentle slide of the shoulders against the back of the chair. Maybe you tuck one foot slightly closer or stretch one leg a bit farther away. Nothing forced, nothing hurried. Just letting your body quietly search for that place where everything fits. You might feel the chair beneath you, solid and steady, holding you from below. The cushions rise gently at the sides, shaping themselves around you. It is as if the chair is learning your weight all over again and gladly making room for it. Now a soft blanket or a worn throw waits within reach. You gather it up, feeling its weight in your hands. The fabric may be slightly heavy or feather light, maybe a little fuzzy or smooth from many evenings of use. As you drape it over your legs, there is a small wave of comfort, like lowering yourself into warm water. The blanket settles across your thighs, over your knees, down toward your feet. Folds of fabric gather in quiet little hills and valleys. You smooth it once or twice, no need to be precise. Just enough to let it lie where it wants to lie, covering you in a loose, easy layer of warmth. You might tuck the edges in lightly along your sides or beneath your feet. Maybe you tuck just one side, leaving the other to fall free. It does not need to be perfect. It only needs to feel easy, kind, and soft. Your back eases further into the support behind you. With each small breath, you can feel the fabric at your shoulders and along your spine. The back of the chair receives your weight and spreads it out, so nothing has to work very hard. You are allowed to be heavy here. Notice how your body continues to make tiny, unconscious shifts. One shoulder settles a little lower. Your head finds a more natural angle. Your hands decide where they want to rest, maybe on the blanket, maybe in your lap, or along the armrests, fingers softly curved. At first, there might still be a little restlessness, a slight urge to change position, or adjust the pillow, or move the blanket just a bit. This is all right. Each of those small movements is simply part of the body's way of arriving. You adjust and then pause. Adjust again and pause a little longer. With every pause, the chair learns a little more about how to hold you. With every pause, your body learns a little more about how to be held. Now your weight sinks a little deeper into the seat. The cushions give way, slowly, as if exhaling beneath you. They rise gently at the sides, softly containing you, so you don't have to hold yourself up. You might feel as though you are being cradled, carefully and securely. Your legs, under the blanket, grow heavier and more at rest. The muscles along your thighs soften. Your knees, your calves, your ankles all begin to let go of quiet, hidden tension you may not have noticed before. It's as if the weight of the blanket is gently inviting them to rest. Your feet feel the surface beneath them, or the warmth tucked into the folds of the throw. Toes loosen in their own slow time. Any little tightness starts to melt, almost without you needing to try. The lower half of your body settles into a single, comfortable shape, steady, warm, and at ease. Now bring a gentle awareness to your hips and lower back. They are supported from below, nothing dangling or straining. The seat rises to meet you, firm enough to hold, soft enough to cradle. Imagine the chair quietly telling your body, it's all right to be heavy now. With that quiet permission, the muscles around your spine soften a little more. Any small arch in your back eases. Your sides and ribs feel the support behind them, and your breathing responds by becoming slower, smoother. Each inhale fills you with a little more calm. Each exhale lets something unneeded slip away. Your shoulders rest more fully against the back of the chair. You may notice the feeling of fabric or cushion under your shoulder blades and along the tops of your arms. They do not have to hold the world right now. They only need to hang gently from your frame, loose and unburdened. The arms of the chair, or the space at your sides, are there to receive the weight of your hands. Fingers relax, maybe uncurl just a little. Palms open softly, or rest with the back of the hand down, whichever feels more natural. From shoulder to fingertip, there is less and less to do. Your neck feels the gentle support behind it, and the position of your head begins to feel inevitable, as though this is exactly where it belongs. The small muscles around your throat and jaws soften. Even the tiny muscles around your mouth and cheeks ease, like a calm, quiet smile that does not need to fully form. The room around you holds its own hush. The soft, steady presence of the stove, the warmth that reaches toward you, the stillness of the air, all of it creates a kind of nest around this chair, around this body. You are not separate from this calm space. You are part of it, woven gently into it. Now the chair is no longer just a piece of furniture. It feels like an embrace that rises from the floor, up through the cushions, wrapping around your sides and back. You are supported from below, from behind, and from all around. You are held. Feel how your breathing now moves in a slow, even rhythm. In and out. No need to deepen it, no need to control it. It has found its own comfortable pace. With every exhale, imagine your body giving just a fraction more of its weight to the chair. The muscles do not need to cling or grip. The bones can rest in their natural alignment. You are completely allowed to lean, to yield, to be carried. Any last traces of fidgeting grow softer and farther apart. If you adjust now, it is small and slow, the way a sleeping person might shift into an even more comfortable place. These movements come and go like ripples in very still water, fading quickly into calm. The fabric at your back, under your hands, across your legs, feels familiar now, almost like part of your own skin. The blanket keeps its gentle weight. The chair keeps its quiet strength. You do not have to think about how you are sitting. You are simply here, naturally, in the most comfortable way you can be right now. In this moment, nothing is being asked of you. There is nowhere else you need to go, and nothing else you need to do. Your only task is to rest in this soft, warm cocoon of seat and blanket and gentle firelight. The evening seems to lean in closer, kind and unhurried. Time feels slower here, stretched out and mellow. You are safe to drift, safe to loosen your grip on the day, safe to let the chair and the room cradle you quietly. And so you rest, breathing softly, body molded to the contours of the seat, held by the cushions, wrapped in warmth, held by the quiet of the room, and by the gentle, steady comfort of this cozy place. As everything grows softer and quieter and very, very still, the room is already warm and dim and easy. Shadows breathe softly on the walls, and the quiet crackle of the stove settles into the background like a steady, gentle heartbeat. Nearby, a blanket waits, folded, patient, full of warmth it has been saving just for this moment. The fabric rests in calm stillness, holding the promise of softness and shelter. You reach for it, slowly, without hurry. Fingers find the edge, and the cloth gives beneath your touch. There is a faint, comforting rustle as it begins to unfold. The sound is low and quiet, like a whisper of comfort moving through the air. The blanket opens out, wider and wider, until it hangs loose and free in your hands. Its weight is simple and reassuring. Not heavy, not light, just enough to be felt, just enough to say, you are here, and you are held. As you lift it, a pocket of cooler air brushes your skin for a moment. Then the blanket starts to come down, slow and easy. The first touch is gentle, barely there. Soft fabric meeting warm skin, a tender first hello. It drapes over your shoulders, over your chest, then down along your legs. The cloth slides into place with a quiet sigh, settling around the shape of your body. You feel the weight spread out, evenly, kindly, across you. Not pressing, simply resting, like a calm hand laid over your whole self. Your shoulders notice the difference first. They soften under the new warmth. The muscles that were holding you up begin to ease, as if the blanket is saying, you do not have to carry so much now. Across your chest, The fabric lies smooth and still. Each breath lifts it just a little, then lets it fall again. A slow, steady rise and fall, like soft waves on a quiet shore. Breath and blanket move together, gentle and calm. Down at your arms, the edges tuck close. The warmth gathers quickly there, closing the tiny gaps where cool air used to touch. Skin relaxes under the steady, cozy heat. Hands rest more deeply, no longer needing to reach for anything at all. Along your stomach and hips, the weight becomes more noticeable. Still light, yet sure. It gives your body a clear sense of where it ends and the air begins. A soft border, a comforting line that says, "This is your space." The blanket lies over your legs, over your knees, down to your ankles. Every inch it covers feels more at ease. Tension loosens from your thighs, your calves, the backs of your knees. Each place that was holding on now has permission to let go. Finally, it reaches your feet. Perhaps your toes were a little cool before. Now they curl into the soft pocket of warmth that gathers at the bottom of the blanket. Heat slowly pools there, wrapping around your feet like a gentle, friendly hug. Inside this small world, the air begins to change. The warmth of your body fills the space beneath the blanket and stays. It does not rush away. It lingers, patient and loyal, growing deeper and more even with every slow breath. Outside, the room is still. Soft sounds continue in the distance, but they feel far away now. The blanket has drawn a quiet line between you and everything beyond. On this side of that line, there is only softness and calm. Any remaining worries linger outside, like coats left hanging by a door. They do not follow you in here. They wait somewhere beyond the edge of fabric, beyond this circle of warmth and gentle weight. Here, you are simply covered, simply safe. Notice how the blanket protects you from the little currents of air. A draft that might have brushed your skin is now stopped, turned aside. The fabric takes it all, so that all you feel is steady temperature, steady comfort. A small, quiet barrier, doing its work without any effort from you. Under this covering, the body understands it can rest. The mind understands too. Thoughts may still move now and then, but they soften at the edges. They feel slower, less sharp, as if cushioned by the same softness that lies against your skin. Your back settles more deeply. Your spine loosens, each vertebra easing into the surface beneath you. The blanket holds you from above. The bed or couch holds you from below. You are gently supported on every side. Notice the simple pleasure of not needing to adjust anything. The corners of the blanket have found their places. The folds have fallen how they wish, and that is enough. You are wrapped just as you are, and nothing more is required. The warmth beneath the blanket has its own slow rhythm. With each breath, it grows a touch cozier, then eases, then deepens again. Your body answers without trying. Breath lengthens, moves lower and softer, like it too is lying down to rest. If a thought drifts toward the outside world, let the fabric be the doorway. See it softly close. Everything out there can remain on the other side, waiting if it must. In here, under this quiet shelter, there is no need to meet it. The blanket does not ask you to be anything. Not productive, not alert, not prepared. It only offers a place to be exactly as you are, in this moment, in this body, in this breath. That is all it asks, and all it gives. You might feel the seams or the stitching faint against your fingertips, little lines of work and care that hold the whole thing together. Someone's hands made these stitches once, steady and patient. That care is here with you now, woven into every thread. The fabric against your neck is especially gentle. It protects that tender place where warmth feels most welcome. Each time you swallow, each time you breathe, you can sense that protected softness there. Like a scarf of quiet safety resting at your throat. Around your ribs and hips, the weight gives you a sense of being anchored, grounded, even as you drift closer to sleep. As if the blanket is saying, you cannot float away. I am here, keeping you close, keeping you safe. It holds you gently in this one peaceful spot. Little by little, muscles surrender that last bit of holding. The small, unnoticed tightness in your jaw, in your forehead, in your hands. Each one softens when it realizes how completely you are wrapped. There is nothing left to guard against here. Under the blanket, it is as if time itself grows slower. Moments lengthen, stretch out in a comfortable, unhurried way. No clock matters in this soft, warm shelter. Only the slow rhythm of your breath, the steady comfort of fabric and heat. The world outside can be anything it wants to be, busy or quiet, bright or dark. It remains behind the gentle wall of cloth and warmth. In this covered space, there is only ease. If any thought returns, any small concern, you can imagine it resting just beyond your feet, outside the blanket. It cannot cross that soft border unless you invite it, and you do not need to invite it now. It can wait, harmless and distant, while you rest. All that truly exists, here and now, is this feeling of being wrapped. The even weight across you, the tender warmth that does not fade, the sense of being looked after, even in perfect, peaceful silence. Let your body take in this message of comfort. Every inch that is covered knows it is safe. Every place touched by softness is reminded that it can let go. Nothing is asked of you but to rest, to breathe, to be. The stove continues its quiet glow somewhere nearby. The room holds its gentle hush. And under this blanket, in this small, warm world, everything is soft and quiet and safe. You are covered. You are warm. You are held. And as the warmth settles deeper and the weight becomes almost part of you, the space beneath the blanket grows softer, quieter, until even words grow thin and gentle, and all that remains is the hush of breath and the steady comfort of being wrapped and safe and still. Evening has settled in softly, almost without being noticed. The room is quieter now, and the light has grown gentle and low. Shadows rest in the corners, and warm colour gathers close to the fire. Everything feels unhurried, as if time itself has taken a deeper, slower breath. Outside the window, the last traces of twilight linger along the edge of the sky. A thin band of fading blue, a soft wash of grey, the final glow of the day slowly giving way to night. Shapes beyond the glass are turning vague and sleepy, less like clear outlines, more like soft memories of the day that has passed. The world out there is dimming, while in here a small golden island of light remains. The stove burns lower now, the bright flames of earlier become a steady bed of deep red coals. Light comes in pockets and pools rather than filling the whole room. Here, beside the stove, the glow is rich and amber, like warm honey poured over the walls and the floor. Farther away, gentle darkness settles in slow, quiet folds. Shadows stretch out long from every simple thing. The chair by the stove carries its own drifting shape, reaching across the floor like a soft echo. The table has a twin in shadow that wavers with each tiny movement of the fire. Even your own presence has a gentle outline, not sharp or strong, but easy, softened by the evening light. The fire flickers and the shadows move in answer. They do not hurry. They shift and breathe with an almost sleepy rhythm, swaying with each small change in the glowing coals. Light leans a little to one side, then returns, and the shadows follow, like calm waves rolling in and sliding back. For a moment, attention drifts to the window again. Outside, night is deepening. The last pale colour has slipped away from the sky. What remains is a soft, dark backdrop, calm and still, holding the quiet outlines of trees, roofs, and distant hills in a peaceful hush. Sounds from outside have grown faint and far away. A car that passes now is only a low murmur, already fading as it comes. A dog barks once in the distance, then goes quiet again, leaving the night smooth and open. Even the wind seems to have eased, its earlier movement slowed to a gentle, barely there whisper against the glass. Inside, the small sounds near the stove feel closer and more intimate now. The quiet, occasional tick of cooling metal, a soft settling of a log, a brief rustle, then stillness again. The room seems to lean in around these simple sounds, holding them tenderly, wrapping them in its warmth. The light from the coals paints the walls in a soft, uneven glow. Some places seem to shine for a moment, then sink back into dusky shade as the embers shift. A corner that was dark a second ago is briefly touched by gold, then returns to shadow. Nothing is fixed, yet everything feels deeply steady and calm. You can sense how slowly the evening is moving now. Minutes seem to open up and lengthen, like a gentle stretch after a long day. Nothing asks to be done quickly. Nothing pulls or tugs for attention. There is only this easy rhythm of light fading, coals glowing, shadows breathing. The stove remains the quiet heart of the room. Whatever changes in the light and the darkness, it stays warm and constant. Its comfort does not rush or insist. It simply is, radiating a slow, steady heat into the space around it. You can almost feel that warmth settling into the furniture, into the floor, into the air itself. As the fire burns low, the room feels more and more like a safe, private world. Outside, the night continues on in its own way, but it seems far removed, softened by distance and by walls that hold in the light. Here, the circle of glow around the stove is its own small universe, where nothing is needed except to rest, to breathe, to be. It is as if this little corner has stepped slightly aside from ordinary time. Thoughts, too, begin to move like the shadows on the floor. They come and go more slowly, drifting in and out of awareness. One rises for a moment, then thins, and dissolves like smoke, leaving only a quiet, open feeling behind. The mind does not need to hold on to anything. It can simply watch as ideas appear and gently fade. The subtle play of light and shadow gives the eyes something soft and simple to follow. A glow deepens over the curve of the stove, then slips away. A shadow along the wall thickens, then loosens as the embers shift. It is a calm, dreamy kind of noticing, that halfway place between looking outward and drifting inward. Every now and then, awareness returns fully to the warmth within the room, to the way the air feels, a little cooler near the window, a little warmer near the fire, to the way your body is held by the space, supported and at ease, to the gentle sense that you are tucked in, sheltered, surrounded by a soft, familiar quiet. Then attention widens again, feeling the slow, steady deepening of the night outside. The world beyond the walls is not shut away, only muted, like a song turned very low. Streetlights glow faintly in the distance, perhaps, or a soft halo of light from another house. But all of it feels far off, like stars scattered at the edge of your awareness. Meanwhile, here, the room continues to glow in pockets of amber and gold. A small shine along the edge of the table. A gentle flare where the coals brighten for a moment, sending a longer, softer shadow of the chair across the floor. These little changes invite you to relax even more, to follow their unhurried pattern. Time in this space feels kind and forgiving. There is room to let the breath slow down, to feel the chest rise and fall in an easy, natural way. The body knows what to do when it is given warmth and safety and quiet. It begins to unwind on its own without effort, like a knot loosening under gentle fingers. The day that came before this evening may still linger at the edges of awareness, yet here in the dim, golden light, even those memories seem softer, less sharp. They rest in the background, like distant hills barely seen in the dusk. The present moment, this calm room, the low fire, has become the true center of things. Every flicker of the coals feels slower now. Their glow deepens and settles, like a heartbeat easing into rest. Shadows grow longer and more still, stretching out quietly, then pausing as if they too are ready to sleep. The whole room seems to exhale, as if sharing one long, peaceful breath. In this quiet, it is easy to feel that all of life has slowed around you. The day's pace, with its tasks and movements, has fallen far behind. What remains is this gentle, private corner of time, made of warm light, soft darkness, and the hush of evening. Nothing presses forward here. Everything simply settles. The stove continues to shine with a low, steady warmth, asking nothing in return. Its glow is like a promise that the night will be kind, that rest is welcome and allowed. Around it, the room holds you the way a blanket holds the body, close and calm. You are wrapped in this small world of slow fire, soft shadow, and deepening night. Little by little, even the need to watch the light and the dark begins to ease. The room can look after itself now. The fire will rise and fall in its own rhythm. You are free to drift, to let the edges of things grow vague and hazy. Thoughts grow softer, breaths grow deeper, and the warm, quiet evening gently carries you towards silence. The room is quiet and still. Warmth settles in gentle layers, wrapping around the chair, the stove, the soft shapes of the evening. Breath moves slowly, in and out, in a calm and easy rhythm. Everything close by feels steady, familiar and kind. Beyond the walls, the night has its own slow life. The world outside continues, soft and distant like a quiet story happening far away. Here, inside, each small sound from beyond the room arrives lightly, then drifts off again, leaving the same deep peace behind. From outside comes the faint hush of wind brushing past the house. It moves along the walls with a quiet, whispering touch. Sometimes it gathers for a moment, a gentle sigh around the corners, then softens again into stillness. Inside, the air stays warm and safe, held close by the steady glow of the stove. The chair supports the body so easily, muscles loosen without effort. The warmth from the stove reaches out in slow waves, touching hands, feet, the quiet rise of the chest. While outside, the wind continues its soft, wandering path. The room remains a small, sheltered island of comfort. A distant car hums along some road far away. At first, just a faint murmur, barely there at all. Then the sound rises gently, glides past in a smooth and temporary line, and fades again into the wide, open night. As it disappears, the silence inside feels even deeper, even softer, like a blanket being tucked in more snugly. Each sound that comes from outside simply passes through. It arrives, is noticed for a brief, quiet moment, and then moves on. Nothing asks for effort. Nothing needs to be done. The stove gives off its gentle heat, the chair holds steady, and the night outside continues at its unhurried pace. The wind stirs again, brushing branches together with the faintest rustle. Leaves or needles shift against one another, making a soft, dry music that only the night can fully hear. Every now and then, a slightly stronger breath of air glides past, and the house gives a tiny, contented creak in reply. Those small, familiar sounds make the room feel even more solid, even more dependable. Somewhere out in the dark, an owl calls. The sound is low and rounded, like a soft echo in the distance. It rises out of the quiet, hangs there for a moment, and then melts away into the trees. Another call answers, or maybe it is the same owl again, speaking gently to the darkness. The night listens, and then falls still once more. Inside, the crackle of the fire sounds cozy and close. A tiny shift of a log, a muffled pop, a faint sigh as the flames settle. The fire's quiet conversation feels friendly and warm. A companion that never rushes, never asks for anything at all. Compared with the cool, faraway sounds of the night, this closeness feels deeply reassuring. Now and then, tiny movements catch the ear. Perhaps a small ticking from the stove as the metal changes with the heat. Perhaps a soft settling of the house as it relaxes into the cool night air. Every little noise is gentle, ordinary, and safe. They are simply signs that everything is working, everything is holding, everything is exactly as it should be. Outside, clouds drift slowly across the sky, and the air shifts with them. The wind may pause, then return in a new pattern, brushing past the windows in slow, wandering waves. Each time it moves, it reminds you of the space out there, the wide, open darkness, calm and distant. Each time it quiets, it reminds you of the warm, enclosed space here, close and comforting. Perhaps, high up, a faint sound of rain begins. At first, it is almost nothing, a suggestion more than a sound. Then a few light drops tap gently on the roof, soft and scattered. A tiny patter on the window joins in, creating a delicate rhythm that soothes the mind and slows the thoughts. The rain is not in a hurry. It comes as it wishes, in small, relaxed patterns. Sometimes it seems to gather, the tapping growing a little more steady, like fingers drumming very softly on a tabletop. Then it eases again, fading back into a light, wandering sprinkle. All the while, the room stays dry, warm, and beautifully calm. With every distant sound, gratitude gently grows. Gratitude for the roof above that keeps the rain where it belongs, safely outside. Gratitude for the solid walls that hold back the night wind, so it only brushes past without entering. Gratitude for the stove that sends out its kind, slow waves of heat, making the air feel thick with comfort. A car moves far off again, a soft, rushing sound on damp roads. It passes like a thought that briefly enters the mind and then glides away. No need to follow it, no need to hold on. It is enough to notice that life continues out there as the warm stillness in here becomes even more precious. The night has its own steady rhythm. An owl now and then, the shuffle of wind, perhaps the gentle drip of rain sliding from a branch to the ground. Each of these sounds belongs to the outside, to that cool, open space. They mark the passing of time in a way that asks nothing of you at all. In here, time feels slower, softer, almost melted. Breath moves, the body rests. Thoughts grow lighter and more distant, like the car on the faraway road, like the owl's fading call. Everything important seems to be happening right here, in the simple feeling of warmth, in the deep comfort of being sheltered and safe. The softness of the chair supports every curve, every part of you that needs to be held. The glow from the stove, even if unseen, can be felt. A steady, trustworthy warmth that never startles, never changes too quickly. Each exhale seems to sink a little deeper into the cushions, a little deeper into ease. Sometimes the night presses a little closer against the windows, as if listening in. The wind may lean into the glass with a longer breath. The rain may sweep against the panes in a brief, gentle gust, and still the room holds its peace. The inside and the outside remain clearly, kindly separate. This sense of being cocooned is simple and complete. Outside, the night takes care of itself. Clouds travel, air moves, birds and small animals go about their quiet business. Roads carry the occasional traveler from one place to another. None of it needs attention. None of it asks for effort. Inside, everything that matters is already here. Warmth, softness, steady breath, the familiar presence of the stove, like a calm, glowing heart at the center of the room. The secure feeling of walls and roof, old friends that have stood through so many nights, so many winds, so many rains. With each passing moment, awareness rests more and more on this safety. There is nothing to chase, nothing to fix, nothing to prepare for. Outside, sounds come and go like small ripples on a wide, dark lake. Inside, stillness is the deep water underneath, quiet and unmoving, holding everything up. The body knows how to relax in a place like this. Shoulders let go, the jaw softens, hands grow heavier and more peaceful. Even the space between thoughts feels wider, as if the mind has more room to stretch out and lie down beside the fire. Another soft call from an owl, perhaps farther away now. Another mild shift of the wind around the house. Maybe a final light patter of rain along the roof. Each sound gently confirms the same truth. The night will carry on, and you are safe here, warm and deeply at ease. The stove continues to glow quietly, its heat spreading in calm, slow waves. The chair holds you effortlessly, as if it was made just for this moment of rest. Outside, the world turns in darkness. Inside, everything has settled into comfort. Breath by breath, the night feels more distant. Breath by breath, the warmth feels closer. Sounds from outside become softer, thinner, like whispers from a faraway dream. What remains, clear and constant, is this peaceful shelter, this gentle cocoon of calm. Here, wrapped in quiet, with the faint murmur of the world outside and the steady warmth of the stove within, the whole evening seems to soften and blur at the edges. Thoughts grow slow and hazy. The body sinks deeper into rest, and the night, kind and far away, continues on without needing anything at all. The room is very quiet now, the kind of quiet that feels soft against the skin. Outside, the world has slipped deeper into night. In here, the fire has grown gentle and low. The tall, bright flames from earlier are gone. What remains is something smaller, slower, more peaceful. The light has softened, turning from gold to a deep, warm orange. Shadows drift lazily along the walls, then settle, calm and still. Inside the stove, the old logs are giving their last easy warmth. They shift a little as they burn down, wooden shapes relaxing into themselves. Every now and then, a log settles with a soft sigh, a quiet creak, a tiny crumble. The sound is slow and unhurried, like a body sinking deeper into a comfortable bed. The glass of the stove door glows with a gentle haze. Behind it, the fire is no longer leaping and eager. It is resting now, like a tired friend at the end of the day. Small tongues of flame curl and fade, drawing close to the darkening wood. The brightest part of the fire has moved inward. It lives now in the bed of coals and embers, pulsing with an inner light. They shine like tiny islands of warmth, close together, glowing from within. Each coal breathes in its own slow rhythm, a little brighter, then a little softer. The room has grown dim with them. Corners that were once full of light are now in a gentle shadow. Edges blur, shapes soften, and everything feels wrapped in a quiet hush. The air itself seems slower, as if it has learned how to rest. Nearby, the furniture sits in easy stillness. The chair, the small table, the soft blanket waiting close by. They hold a silent memory of the evening that has passed. Stories told, thoughts drifting, moments shared with the company of the fire. Now the stories of the day are finished. There is nothing left to solve or to remember. All that remains is this small, glowing heart inside the stove. A calm, steady comfort, asking nothing and promising only rest. The fire offers a gentle rhythm to follow. Watch how the coals brighten, just a touch, as fresh air touches them. See how they slowly dim again, easing back into a soft, steady glow. Like a slow, peaceful breath, drawn in quietly, released even more quietly. In this calm space, the body begins to mirror the fire. Muscles that held the day's weight loosen and let go. Shoulders drop a little farther away from the ears. The jaw relaxes, the tongue rests, the face softens. Warmth from the stove has seeped into the room over the hours. It has soaked into the floor, into the fabric of the chair, into the blankets. Now that warmth simply lingers, asking for nothing at all. It is just here, waiting, a soft cushion against the cool of the night. Each small sound from the stove feels friendly and familiar. A tiny pop as a thin strip of bark gives way. A muted crackle as a fragile edge of wood collapses into glowing ash. The sounds come less often now, and when they do, they are so quiet. Time seems to slow with the fire. Moments stretch out like the long shadows on the floor. One breath, then another, all unhurried. Nothing presses forward, nothing pulls back. Everything is simply here. The flames retreat, but they do not vanish all at once. They curl deeper into the nest of coals, smaller and more delicate. Little flickers appear at the edges, then drift away like tired thoughts. What remains is calm, steady light, close to the earth, close to sleep. The room has found a new balance. Not bright and lively, not fully dark, but something in between. A tender twilight made of ember-glow and gentle shadow. Enough light to feel safe, not so much that the mind wants to wake. Thoughts follow the fire's example. They too begin to grow softer, less sharp around the edges. Things that felt important before now drift to the back of awareness. They can wait easily until morning, or even longer than that. There is nowhere to go in this moment, nowhere to be except right here in the soft warmth of this quiet room. The evening has done its work, the day has had its time. Now the only task is to drift, like smoke rising and fading in the dark. Inside the stove, the glowing coals are settling down. Their colour deepens into a rich, gentle red, like the last light of sunset. The bright yellow has gone, leaving something quieter and more constant. They do not dance anymore. They simply shine. A faint ash begins to gather at their edges. It looks like a soft blanket tucking the coals in for the night. Under that cover, the warmth is still strong and sure. Protected, calm, no longer needing to show itself so brightly. The logs have lost their sharp shapes. They are becoming part of the slow, glowing bed of embers. Their rough surfaces have turned smooth and rounded with heat. What once was solid and strong is now gentle and yielding. In the same way, the mind is allowed to soften. Ideas lose their edges, plans lose their urgency. Even memories become like distant lanterns, far away and harmless. Everything that was bright and active can now glow more quietly, deep inside. Breath moves in an easy, natural way. No need to change it or think about it. It simply rises and falls like the light of the coals. A slow brightening, a soft fading, over and over. With each breath, the body sinks a little deeper into comfort. The support beneath feels steady, trustworthy, kind. Weight spreads out and releases, like a log settling deeper into the embers. Held, supported, with nothing at all to hold up on its own. The quiet in the room grows thicker, but never heavy. It is a clear, peaceful quiet, the kind that lets the heart rest. Even the night outside seems to lean closer, listening gently. Everything beyond these walls feels far away, softened by distance and dark. The light from the stove reaches only a short way now. It pools close by, washing the nearby floor in a soft orange glow. Beyond that pool, the room lies in a calm, velvety shadow. Nothing is hidden there, only stillness and ease. Inside the stove, the fire is almost finished. It has shared its brightness, its movement, its warmth. Now it is allowed to dim, to turn inward, to rest. The last small flames flutter like sleepy eyelids, then close. What remains is a bed of coals, breathing their last gentle breaths of light. Each tiny ember shines like a quiet thought, then drifts into softness. Brightness is no longer needed. Glowing quietly is more than enough. There is a sweetness in this ending, a feeling that everything has been just right. Here, in this calm glow, it becomes easy to let go. To let go of effort, of planning, of trying to stay awake. To settle into the same peaceful surrender as the fire. To trust that the warmth will linger even after the flames are gone. Now the room is cradled by the low, steady heat of the stove. Shadows have merged into a gentle, uninterrupted dark. The last hints of light rest on the coals like a lullaby in colour. Soft, fading, comforting, guiding everything towards stillness. Thoughts thin out until they are barely more than a feeling. A sense of safety, a sense of warmth, a sense that it is not only okay to rest, but deeply right. The embers glow like a heartbeat falling asleep. Slower now and softer, but always calm. Their faint light hums quietly at the edge of awareness. Close enough to feel, far enough to let the mind drift. Here, in this gentle dimness, sleep waits patiently. Not demanding, not rushing, just quietly nearby, ready to wrap around as easily as the warmth has wrapped around the room. As the fire settles into its own deep rest, everything else is allowed to do the same, drifting with the last soft glow, floating on the warmth that remains, thoughts loosening, breath slowing, body resting, and the quiet, steady comfort of the stove keeping gentle watch as everything fades into peaceful, welcoming sleep. The night has become very still now. The day is far away. The fire in the stove has burned down low, and the room is wrapped in a soft, quiet hush. Shapes have softened in the dimness. Edges have blurred. Nothing asks for attention. Nothing needs to be done. Only the faintest glow remains behind the stove door, a slow, sleepy red, deep in the heart of the embers. It is no longer a bright flame, just a gentle pulse of warmth, breathing slowly in the dark. That warmth spreads out in a tender, quiet way. It no longer reaches across the whole room. It simply lingers close, like a soft exhale, resting around the chair, the blanket, the floor beneath. The air is calm and still. A touch of coolness waits at the edges of the room, gentle and clean. Where the warmth and the cool meet, there is a perfect, drowsy comfort, like finding the exact right spot in the bed. The chair holds you the way a shoreline holds a wave. Nothing to resist, nothing to push against. Just an easy, welcoming curve, ready to receive every part of you. The blanket has grown heavier in the best possible way. It settles around your shoulders, along your arms, across your legs. Its weight is kind, steady, and sure. It is a quiet promise that you do not have to move. Each breath feels slower now, in and out, in and out. Gentle, unhurried, almost like the whole room is breathing with you. As you breathe in, the faint leftover warmth from the stove seems to rise to meet you. A soft memory of the evening's glow. As you breathe out, your weight sinks a little deeper into the chair, and the blanket gathers you closer. The room has its own quiet presence. Like a calm, patient companion, it has been here all along, watching over you while the fire danced, listening while the logs settled and the stories of the day faded away. Now the room leans in a little closer, as if it too is growing sleepy. The walls feel warm with memory. The floor remembers each soft step. The air remembers the spark and crackle of the flames. All of that has quieted now. The bustle of the day has become a distant echo. Even the fire, once bright and busy, has let go into rest. The embers glow softly, like eyes half closed. Here, in this gentle hush, nothing presses forward. Thoughts slow down, arriving like light snowflakes instead of sharp, quick gusts. They land softly and melt away just as softly. If a thought appears, the room seems to hold it for you. You do not have to follow it. You do not have to fix it or change it. The stillness simply cradles it and then lets it drift out to the edges, where it grows quiet and small. The blanket is like a small personal night sky drawn around your body. You are wrapped in it, surrounded by its soft, steady weight. Under it, your muscles loosen without effort. The back, the shoulders, the hips, the legs, all quietly releasing their work. The chair supports every curve. Nothing is hanging. Nothing is left without help. Even the small joints and the smallest muscles are gently held, so they can forget how to brace and simply rest. The faint warmth from the stove is like a memory in the air now. You can almost feel where the fire once reached. You can remember the brighter light without needing it to be bright again. It is enough to know it was there and that its comfort lingers. Around you, the room has grown deeper and softer. Shadows are friendly, not hiding anything, just folding in on themselves. The ceiling, the corners, the quiet surfaces are all part of one calm, dark shelter. Here, you are completely safe. Safe to let your breathing slow to its own perfect rhythm. Safe to let your thoughts fade at their own gentle pace. Safe to drift or to stay right at the edge of sleep, rocking softly between waking and dreaming. If the mind wants to remember moments from the evening, it can, but only in a faraway, hazy way. The crackle of kindling catching fire, the glow of hot logs slowly turning to ember, the way the warmth reached your hands, your face, your feet. All of that is stored in the room now, like a quiet story told once, and then tucked away. You do not need to retell it. You do not need to hold on to any detail. The room remembers for you. The silence here is not empty. It is full of softness, full of care. It holds you the way a calm lake holds the reflection of the sky. Nothing extra, nothing forced, nothing in a hurry. In this deep quiet, even time feels slower. Moments stretch out gentle and wide. Each one arrives, settles, and glides away without leaving any weight behind. Your body understands this stillness. It recognizes safety and responds without words. The jaw loosens. The brow smooths. The eyes grow heavier, as if a soft curtain is being slowly drawn. Your hands may rest where they have landed, maybe folded on your lap, maybe by your sides. The fingers curl or uncurl in their own way. They do not need to hold or reach for anything now. The day's tasks have ended. Somewhere deep inside, the sense of holding yourself up is easing. The room, the chair, the blanket are doing that for you. They are strong and steady and gentle. You can lean on them completely. The warmth that remains near the stove is like the last note of a lullaby. It does not need to be loud to be felt. It simply hums softly in the background of your rest, a small, steady comfort. If you notice a small sound in the room, it only adds to the feeling of safety. The slight tick of cooling metal, a tiny sigh from the wood as it settles, the faint whisper of air shifting in the stovepipe. Each sound appears and dissolves again into the stillness. Nothing breaks the calm. Nothing disturbs this nest of quiet where you are held. In this moment, it is enough just to be here. No decisions, no effort, just breathing in the gentle air, breathing out into the soft dark. Each out-breath is like handing something over to the room. A thought, a tension, a worry too small to even name. The room takes it kindly and lets it fade into the corners where it cannot reach you. The warmth that remains on your skin is a memory written in comfort. Your body knows that it has been cared for. It knows that the evening brought rest and ease. Now it can sink into an even deeper quiet. If sleep wants to come, it will find you easily here. It knows this room. It knows this chair, this blanket, this gentle hush. It can slip in softly, like a shadow passing over still water. And if sleep has not quite arrived yet, that is perfectly all right. The in-between place is soft and kind. Drowsy thoughts drift by like clouds. You are already resting, already safe, already held. The room's like a quiet friend who does not need to speak. Just being here with you is enough. It stays constant and calm while you soften more and more, layer by layer. The last glow in the stove grows dimmer, but the feeling of warmth in the room remains. It has soaked into the walls, the floor, the chair, the blanket, into the very air around you. You are surrounded by it, wrapped in it, breathing it in and out. Everything is gentle now. Everything is soft. The night is kind, and this small, quiet space is watching over you. Nothing more is needed. You are here, in the hush, in the warmth, in the tender stillness of the room. Held, supported, and safe, as you drift without effort into whatever depth of sleep or peaceful quiet is ready to meet you. The room is very quiet now. The night has settled in all around. The air feels soft and still, touched by the last gentle warmth from the stove. Everything is unhurried, and nothing more needs to be done. The fire has burned low. Only a few quiet embers remain, glowing softly in the dimness. They rest in the bed of ash like tiny, sleepy stars, breathing out a slow, fading warmth. Each faint glow feels calm and steady, relaxed and unafraid to grow dim. The light from the embers moves so slowly now. A small pulse here, a soft deepening of colour there. Reds and oranges blend into a gentle, dusky glow. Shadows around the room are smooth and still, barely shifting at all. The stove itself feels peaceful. Its sides are warm to the touch, but no longer hot. It holds the memory of the fire that has burned all evening. That memory lingers in the air as a soft, familiar comfort. The room feels like a nest. The walls, the floor, the furniture, everything seems to lean in just a little, as if to shelter this quiet moment. The world outside can do whatever it wants. Here, inside, nothing is urgent and nothing is asked of you. The blanket around your body is cozy and kind. Weight rests across you in just the right way, gentle and steady, like a safe, quiet embrace. The fabric is soft against your skin, welcoming every breath, every tiny shift. You are completely allowed to sink into it and be held. As you lie here, the warmth from the embers and the warmth from the blanket seem to meet. One rises gently from the stove, one settles softly around you. Together, they create a little pocket of safety in the center of the night. You are resting in that safe pocket now, cradled between softness and warmth. Breath moves slowly through your body, easy and natural. Nothing to control, nothing to manage. Inhale, and the chest lifts a little. Exhale, and everything softens again. With each out-breath, The body seems to melt more deeply into the bed or couch beneath you. Muscles that worked all day can finally give in to gravity. Shoulders let go, spine unwinds, hands fall into a comfortable, effortless position. Even tiny muscles in the face smooth out and loosen. The quiet in the room has its own warmth. It is the quiet that comes after a day well used, after small tasks are done, after the fire has done its work. It is the quiet of nothing expected and nothing demanded, just being, just resting. You are completely safe here, safe to linger in your thoughts or let them drift away, safe to stay awake a little longer, resting in the hush, safe to drift down into sleep whenever it comes, without needing to notice the exact moment. The last gentle scent of wood smoke is faint in the air. It carries memories of crackling logs, dancing flames, the steady warmth that grew through the evening. Now that scent is softer, calmer, like the echo of a lullaby. It settles around you, familiar and soothing. If any thoughts rise and wander through the mind, they can move as slowly as the embers glow. They do not need to be solved or chased. They can just pass by, like distant clouds moving across a dark, peaceful sky. The deeper part of you already knows how to rest. Every now and then the stove might make a tiny settling sound, a faint tick as metal cools. Very gentle, very soft. Each little sound only reminds you that the fire is resting too, winding down, drifting toward its own stillness. The night outside may be cool, or windy, or very still. Whatever it is, it stays outside. Inside, the air is wrapped in a thin layer of warmth, left over from the evening glow. You are wrapped in that same quiet comfort. The blanket continues to cradle you. Its warmth does not hurry, does not push. It simply stays with you, patiently, like a trusted friend sitting nearby in the dim light. You do not have to speak or move or do anything at all. A sense of softness begins to spread through the body, from the top of the head, down through the face and neck, down through the shoulders, through the arms, into the hands and fingers, through the chest, the back, the hips, the legs, all the way to the toes. Everything is invited to loosen, to rest. Time feels slower here. Minutes blur together in this cozy, quiet room. Nothing is waiting on the other side of this moment. This is enough. Being here, breathing slowly, supported by the bed and the blanket, and the gentle warmth in the air. That is more than enough. The embers glow a little less brightly now. They do it without effort, without struggle. They simply allow themselves to fade, knowing they have given all the warmth that was needed. Their last light is tender and calm. In the same way, the day can gently fade inside you. All the noise, all the movement, all the small and large things that happened. They can settle into the background like cooled ash, no longer bright, no longer pulling for attention. The only thing that matters now is this soft, quiet rest. If sleep is close, it can arrive like a feather landing, so light that you might not even feel the exact moment it touches down. If sleep is a little farther away, that is all right too. Rest itself is a kind of healing, and you are already resting deeply. Breath continues to move in a slow, easy rhythm. Warmth holds you where you are. The room stands watch in its gentle, silent way. You are allowed to let go, as much or as little as you wish, at your own pace. Thoughts may drift like old leaves on a very still pond. They come, they float for a moment, and then they move on. The surface of the mind grows smoother and smoother, less and less disturbed. Beneath that surface, a deep, quiet comfort settles in. The body remembers this feeling, the feeling of being safe and warm at the end of the day, the feeling of being cared for even when no one is speaking and nothing is happening. It is a simple, natural ease, like a long, slow exhale. In this soft, glowing room, you do not have to hold yourself up. The bed, the pillow, the blanket, the gentle warmth from the stove, all of them are holding you. You can lean into that support completely. You can be as heavy and relaxed as you wish. The glow from the embers may continue for a while, or it may slip away into darkness. Either way, their warmth lingers in the metal of the stove, in the air, in the memory of the room. That warmth also lingers inside you, in the calm of your breathing, in the softness of your body. You carry it without needing to think about it. As the night deepens, the edges of the room feel softer. Shapes blur into shadow. Silence becomes thicker and more comforting. It is as if the whole space is drawing a warm, heavy blanket over itself, settling in for its own sleep. You are a quiet part of this room now, a gentle presence, breathing slowly in the dimness. No separation between you and the calm around you. Just one shared stillness, one shared rest. If your mind listens closely, it might notice how peaceful it feels here, how safe it is to drift, to wander, to sink. There is no need to stay alert, no need to be anywhere else. The warmth, the softness, the safety of this evening can stay with you. They can follow you down into deeper and deeper rest. They can stay even if dreams come and go. They can stay even if you simply lie here, floating on the edge of sleep. Nothing is rushed. Nothing is forced. You are free to drift as slowly and as deeply as you wish, held by the room, held by the blanket, held by the last gentle memory of the embers. Breath by breath, the world grows quieter. Breath by breath, your body grows heavier, softer, more at ease. The night stretches out ahead, calm and kind and spacious. You can sink into it now with no effort at all. And as everything around you grows still, you rest here, safe and warm, quiet within quiet, soft within softness, floating on the edge of sleep or already far inside it, held, unhurried, and at peace.